You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. The governor didn't sign everything that came across his desk. A bill that would have provided a better way to track domestic violence offenders was shot down because of an amendment, something that was added right before a final vote that would have delayed the payment of fees to the state from the company that runs that radioactive waste disposal site near Andrews. The governor saying there, no freebies. He did sign off on the cost and feasibility study for expanding Interstate 27. The Ports to Plains folks have been waiting for this for years and years. TxDOT will now spend 2 years looking at what it takes to expand the highway north to the Oklahoma border and south from Lubbock to Laredo. The study will also include an advisory committee made up of officials from each of the counties involved, and Lubbock Mayor Dan Pope will be part of that, we're told. And the City Council voted this week to sell the old City Hall building to South Plains College so they can establish a downtown campus there. Sale price is $2 million, and South Plains will start renovations as soon as they can get in there.
Just excited on both levels that the city of Lubbock will be consolidated inside of Citizens Tower, and that we found a great partner to use this building moving forward.
You bet. And by the way, the Citizens Tower remodel should be finished this fall, and city workers will move in there as soon as possible after that happens. The capstone of Victory Lap Week is still the one with the biggest question marks attached. That's the new law that puts property tax limits on local governments before an election is necessary. Assuming your city and county governments won't decide to add on a bunch of fees to make up the difference, you might like some of the changes to the appraisal and evaluation process. But not everyone is completely sold on this being a good thing. Our Mari Salazar spoke with Mayor Pope about it.
I think taxpayers will better understand their property tax bills. There's more transparency there. It's not only is the bill easier to understand, the process to appeal their property tax valuations will be much easier.
But Mayor Pope is concerned about the tax cap. He just doesn't know how it'll play out for Lubbock.
Historically, that's not an issue for us. To me, I'm not sure it's great public policy. I don't know how the state can grow their budget at 7 or 8% a year, but ask cities and counties to grow theirs at 3.5%. But we'll see.
Representative Dustin Burrows authored the bill in part. He says this is meaningful reform. It gives people a voice.
Could you imagine if half of the 85% of people who showed up to protest their appraised value actually went to town hall to protest their taxes?
The new law will work together with the school finance bill, which includes around $5 billion to buy down property taxes. Mayor Pope says they've always spent tax money with Lubbock residents in mind, and they'll keep it that way.
Like it was our own money, it was because it is, and we do that every day. We work hard on being fiscally accountable and responsible.
That is our Mari Salazar reporting, by the way. Dustin Burrows told our friend Chad Hasty over on KFYO Radio that Mayor Pope's comments were, they're, quote, probably developed by taxpayer-funded lobbyists or anti-taxpayer lobbyists like the Texas Municipal League. Maybe a little harsh there, but apparently it's not nice to get in the way of someone's victory lap, right? And with that in mind, Governor Greg Abbott joined our Lauren Motter on KMAC News earlier this week, and she asked him all about that and more for 5 good minutes.
Very proud of Lubbock leaders in Austin, Texas. You have Dustin Burrows, you have Charles Perry, and others doing a great job that were leaders in these tax reforms. The tax reforms do 2 things. One is the state is using $5 billion to buy down property tax rates of people who pay property taxes in Lubbock and across the state. Second, today, I signed a law that will limit the ability of those tax reductions being eroded by rising property taxes in the future by this bill that holds down increases in property tax rates.
And Governor, you mentioned some of our local authorities here. Is there any sign that local governments have warmed up to the idea of a 3.5% tax limit, because many are worried about how that would affect their future budgets?
Listen, what we have found from governments large and small across the entire state of Texas is they are fully capable of living within increasing revenues every single year of 3.5%, matching the needs of their citizens. They need to invest, obviously, first and foremost in law enforcement and building roads and other things, but city governments, just like families in Lubbock, have to live by the same principle, and that is to establish priorities, fund those priorities first, and then after that, fund other items. I know governments large and small across Texas have done that, can do it, and all will be able to do it. But it's our job as Texans to hold down property taxes on our citizens and quit taking their money.
Very important things, of course. The idea of raising the sales tax by a penny to buy back the property taxes even further didn't make it to the finish line this time. So would you like to see it back on the table in 2 years for the next legislative session?
You know, that's going to be up to the citizens of Texas over the next 2 years to let us know what they feel about it. I do know that it's a part of the Republican Party platform to use sales tax, a consumption tax, as opposed to a property tax. And if we are going to be able to move the needle and really reduce the burden of property taxes in Texas, we'll have to find a replacement source of revenue, such as sales tax. It'll be up to the voters to decide that.
And of course, we know that property tax reform was also part of the new school funding law. So how quickly do you believe this will lead to changes for teachers and students?
Well, this is enormous. This is probably the biggest and boldest school finance and school funding law signed into law in the state of Texas in decades that provides teachers across the state of Texas a pay raise. It improves their health care system, their pension system, but also most importantly, provides and funds strategies that will ensure that our students are doing better and invest in pre-K education more robustly than ever before in Texas history. It puts children on a pathway to be reading and doing math by the time they finish the 3rd grade and puts them on a pathway to graduating from high school with more than just a degree. They're going to be graduating with the ability to go on to college or to a career.
Very important things. And of course, before we let you go, you did mention the track team who won the national championship. You were rooting for the basketball team during the NCAA championship game. So any advice for the Tech baseball team as they head to the College World Series later this week?
I want you to know something. I once wished somebody in advance something, Houston Astros to be honest, and I got accused of jinxing them. The last thing I will do is to jinx the Texas Tech baseball team. I was proud to help host the basketball team at the Capitol. Incredibly proud of the track team.
All right, Governor Abbott, thank you so much for giving us the time today. I know you've had a busy, busy day, so thank you so much. I hope everything's going well in Austin.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, coming up, can you believe that after all they do for us, putting their lives on the line, our cities and insurance companies often fail to help our firefighters? Thankfully, that is changing. We'll tell you about it next on Talking Points.